August 18, 1992, Frances Bean Cobain, the daughter of Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain, was born. And it was at this time that a rather scathing article was written about the Cobains. Many people will remember this. It was the Vanity Fair article. And that was where Courtney Love sat down with journalist Lynn Hirschberg to do the interview for the magazine. The title of the article was Strange Love, with the headline, "Are Courtney Love, lead diva of the post-punk band Hole, and her husband Nirvana heartthrob Kurt Cobain, the grunge John and Yoko, or the next Sid and Nancy?" It was a damning portrait, calling Love a train wreck personality and painting her marriage to Kurt as nothing more than a career move. But the deepest wounds came from several anonymous quotes, obviously from a person close to the couple, which raised concerns about the health of Frances and their drug problems during the pregnancy. The allegations were bad enough. Kurt and Courtney felt doubly betrayed that someone in their organization would slander them in public forum. However, the deepest wounds came from several anonymous quotes. And this was from an unknown person who was obviously close to Kurt and Courtney, who had gone behind their back, who had raised concerns about the health of Frances and their drug problems during the pregnancy, all of which were slanderous lies. So these allegations made by this anonymous person were bad enough. Kurt and Courtney felt doubly betrayed that someone in their organization would slander them in a public forum. But here goes the worst part. The Vanity Fair article that was painting Kurt and Courtney as bad parents was now being treated as news headlines on mainstream media and MTV as well. And you can imagine how hurtful of a story that is to parents of a newborn baby. And understandably, Kurt did not take this news well at all. Kurt told Courtney he felt deceived that MTV would make him famous only to destroy him. That week, he sat down and wrote a letter to MTV attacking Hirschberg and the network. "Dear MTV, the entity of all corporate gods, how dare you embrace such trash journalism from an overweight, unpopular, in-high school cow who severely needs her karma broken. My life's dedication is now to doing nothing but slag MTV and Lynn Hirschberg, who, by the way, is in cahoots with her lover, Kurt Loder. We will survive without you easily. The old school is going down fast." For her part, Courtney was still reeling from the fact that she had so wrongly read Hirschberg. Most of the issues the article raised had already been brought up in other stories, but it was the tone of the piece that felt like class warfare. In 1998, Courtney posted the following reflection on America Online. "I had no clue how a boomer mentality like Vanity Fair, Hirschberg, would receive me and my family. I was sheltered from the mainstream in every possible way my entire life. Feminism, punk rock, and subcultural living did not enable me to have a value system that understood mainstream thought, or that understood how us dirty punks had no rights to the American dream. That, plus I thought it would be neat to get famous. I had no idea about the archetype I would get slammed into. But the fact remains that most of that article was unsaid and untrue." The attention moved Kurt and Courtney out of the rock magazines and into the newspapers in the U.S., where the court of public opinion was quick to damn any parent considered unfit. The attention moved Kurt and Courtney out of the rock magazines and into the newspapers in the U.S., where the Globe tabloid ran a story headlined, "Rock Star's Baby is Born a Junkie." Though Courtney wasn't the first mother with drug problems to have a child, she was soon the most public, and the Cobain baby was being talked about everywhere. And again, this was tearing Kurt and Courtney in two. Just 6 days after Frances's birth, the first court hearing was held. Though they hoped to retain custody of Frances as a couple, Kurt and Courtney were prepared for the possibility the court might put restrictions on one parent and therefore had separate lawyers. As it was, the judge ruled Kurt and Courtney would not be allowed to see their own child without the supervision of the court-appointed guardian. "It was horrible," recalled Rosemary Carroll, the lawyer for the Cobains. "That child was very wanted. Courtney had gone through a whole lot to have that child. She'd gone through physical pain, much more than a regular pregnancy, because of the struggles to withdraw and stay healthy at a time when nothing around her was healthy. But when you saw Kurt with Frances, it was stated, "You should have seen him with that kid. He just could sit and stare at her for hours. He was as adoring as any father would be." And that is very clear and very obvious to anybody who's seen any videos of Kurt and Courtney with Frances, just how much they loved and adored their daughter. So the Vanity Fair piece that was done on the Cobains, painting them as bad parents, was just a real stab in the back to them from the media. And it was the one incident that really stuck out, that really affected Kurt, was just totally destroying what was said in that article. None of it was true. That was the first thing. And it actually resulted in Frances being taken away from her parents. Just an example of how the media can concoct stories and make up lies to really ruin somebody's reputation. So I want to say thanks heaps for tuning into the video, guys. Be sure to give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time.